Today we will see Java technical questions for interview part 2, operators and control statements in Java. List out arithmetic operators in Java. We have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and modulo. Division takes the quotient as an answer and modulo takes the remainder as an answer. List out relational operators in Java. Less than, greater than, equal to, not equal to, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. You can see the notations also. List out assignment operators in Java. We have assignment operator, that is single equal to, we write. Addition assignment operator, subtraction assignment operator, multiplication assignment operator, division assignment operator, modulo assignment operator. So we can assign this assignment operator for other operators as well. List out logical operators in Java. We have logical AND, logical OR, and logical NOT. List out bitwise operators in Java. We have bitwise AND, bitwise OR, bitwise exclusive OR, bitwise NOT, bitwise left shift, bitwise right shift operators. List out the other types of operators in Java, apart from what you already seen. We have conditional, or it can be called as ternary operator. We write question mark and colon. Then increment operator and decrement operator. Java control statements. It's a combination of conditional, or it could be called as selection or decision making statements. Here we have if statements. Now if statements include if, that is simple if else if, nested if statements. Then we have switch statement. Coming to the looping statements, we have for loop, while loop, do while loop, and for each loop. Jump statements, we have break and continue statements. Simple if statements. Here you can see the syntax of simple if. So we have one condition. If the condition is true, the statement is going to execute. And if the condition is failed, we don't have any alternative here. If else statement. So here if the condition is true, the statement 1 is going to execute. If the condition is false, the else statement is going to be executed. Now this is the best advantage what you're getting in if else comparatively with if statement. Because if the condition is not failed, so what is the thing we need to do? Here is we need to go to the else part. If else if statement. Now here if the condition is true, statement 1 gets executed. If that is false, we can go for one more condition. Else if the second condition has been true, then statement 2 is executed. So like that we can have multiple if condition statements, and if none of the conditions are been true, finally we have an else statement where that else part is going to be executed. Nested if statement, like one if in another if statement can be considered the nested if statement. So here you can see if condition 1 is true, then statement 1 gets executed, and internally one more condition is applied. If conditions 2 is true, then the statement 2 is get executed. That means if condition 1 is true, we are entering into that particular block, and again one more condition we are trying to check before closing the outer if condition. If suppose if this particular condition is failed, directly we go to the else part. If this condition is true, we enter into the block and again we check one more condition. So this if condition is inside the outer if condition. So this concept implies it's a nested if statement. Coming to the switch statement. Now this switch statement can be considered as an alternative for if else if statement where multiple conditions can be checked. So here we have a switch keyword with some expression. So based on this expression, the case statements get executed if it is matched. If the expression is matching with case 1, that is value 1, then statement 1 get executed and the break statement is going to be applied and it is going to come out of the switch statement, and the rest of the cases will not get executed. So you can write n number of cases. So here you can see case with value n. If this is matching, then statement can executed, then you can apply break. If none of the cases are matching, we have a default section and the default statement get executed. Now coming to the loops, we have a for loop. For loop is an entry control loop because it checks the condition before entering the loop and then take decision accordingly. So here we have three sections. One is initialization section, that is initialization of a variable. Then check the condition, then go for either increment or decrementation. So whatever the initialized value is there, if that particular based on that condition, whatever you have been assigning, the statement get executed. And then whatever the updation you are giving, it could be increment or decrement, this get executed and go for the next iteration. Now while loop is an entry control loop because it checks the condition before entering the loop and then take decision accordingly. So initialization is the first one. Then based on after the initialization, we go for a condition. Then statements get executed. Then you go for increment or decrement functionality. Do while loop. Do while loop is an exit control loop because it checks the condition at the end of the loop and then take decision accordingly. Now this loop executes at least once because here if you can see the initialization is done, then directly it is entering into the do block because there is no condition. So it need to compulsory enter into the do, then execute the statements, then go for increment. Before going to the increment decrement, the while condition will get executed. If the condition is true, then this particular increment or decrement concept applies. But at least once this do while get executed. For each loop. The for each loop is used exclusively to loop through elements in an array. So here in the syntax you can see there is an initialization. Then we are taking a variable with a certain data type. And here we have the array name. So from this one by one element is been extracted and then the code get executed. Break statement. Now the break statement is a loop control statement that is used to terminate the loop. As we have seen in switch case statement, if the case has been matched, then we apply the break to come out of the switch statement. So as soon as the break statement is encountered from within a loop, the loop iteration stops there and control returns from the loop immediately to the first statement after the loop. So generally we use this break statement to the loop or switch case statements or any block. So it directly comes out of the particular block whenever the condition applied is true and the break is going to work there. Continuous statement in Java. Now the continuous statement is used to skip the current iteration of a loop based on the condition and continue the next iteration. So whenever in a particular iteration, whenever the particular condition is matched and it is true, that iteration is getting skipped and the next iteration is going to continue. Thank you.